back with part 2. Alright, so in part 2 what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure we are working in a 4 viewport, alright, environment over here. So we're going to uh, align this up nicely, alright, with the front view and also the side view. And we also going to press F3 to turn on the shaded view, alright. Sometimes you need to move around the viewport a bit so that it will be updated. Press F2, F3. Alright, and there you go. See the shadow over here? You can click, turn on just use a shaded view will be nice. Alright, so that the shadow won't disturb your viewing. So now the grid might be in the way. Alright, our grid here in the viewport. So just press G on the keyboard to hide the grid. You can press G again to unhide it. Alright, so here our front view. So make sure that we are really looking at the front view by looking at the uh, name over here. Alright, the name of the view here, front left. Alright, okay. So with this being said, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start with a box. Alright, so create a box. Alright, excuse me about that, my phone is getting in the way with our recording. So create a box right in front here. Right. But another thing is that click on the front view. Just turn on the G grid for a while. Alright, for the grid. Make sure that you have the pivot here. Put it slightly right in the center. You really want it to be in the center. It's roughly around there. Alright. Okay, so you see that centered line over there. Okay, so now I'm going to start creating a box. So the process of this modeling is that we're only going to model one side. So create a box in the middle in the front view. Okay, in the front view, just roughly create a thickness over there. So on the side view here, on the left view, we're going to just drag it there, and of course press F4 so that you can actually see a wireframe. Okay, and before we freeze, to avoid selecting or moving this picture reference, we need to freeze it. So before we freeze it, we also need to put a modify tab and just reduce the segment, because you don't need that much segment. Alright, so once we have that, select all the both of the picture reference and right click on the object, go to object properties, and click on freeze, and also untick show frozen in gray. We don't want it to be frozen in gray. Okay, now actually the plane object now has been freeze, so we cannot select it. Alright, so with that being said, now let's get back to our box. Just align it roughly at the center, and we need, so in order to work this half of the modeling, okay, we need to have enough segment in the middle. So I'm gonna at the modify tab here, I'm gonna add segments. Okay, it's roughly around here, and on the width 2 segment, and the height is 1 segment. So remember, if you create a box on the front view, this would be your settings. Alright, if you create it on the side view, then it will be different. Alright, okay, so just don't worry too much about the perspective view, just concentrate more on the side view, left view, and also the front view. Okay, now what we're going to do now is if we cannot see the picture behind it, so so that I mean it'd be hard for us to trace, because the picture is behind. We can always click on alternate X on the keyboard, alright, to make it transparent so we can see what's behind there. Alright, alternate X again to uh, make it not transparent. Alright, so now we need to right click on the object and convert it into an editable poly. Alright, so once we convert it to an editable poly, okay, we're going to go to the polygon sub object, and we're going to select on our left side the row polygon and click delete, alright, to remove it. Okay, now we are basically going to go to vertex sub object. We're going to switch on the transparency, and along the middle line over here, alright, on the grid, we are just going to because right now it is a box, so basically the vertices, see in the viewport here, on the perspective viewport, you see there is a back vertices. So if you want to drag the whole thing, you should do a group selection like that, alright, or like that, because you just click once and then you move it down, you are basically the one that's on behind here is basically it is left behind, so you don't want that to happen. So just make a box selection over here so that it selects what's behind there also, and bring it all the way down. Also with this one, we're just going to follow the shape, alright, roughly. Don't worry about not having this curve. Later on we will add to that. Alright, so I'm going to go a bit more fast on this. Just roughly, create a rough shape of it. And the trick is the trick in modeling is that you don't start with so much polygon. You start with less amount of polygon and less amount of vertices, less amount of edge. Then you add as you go along, and you only add where you need it. Alright, that will really optimize your work and will make your life easier in modeling. So once we have this done, alright, before I add more segments over here to further reshape our model, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this modifier which will create a duplication on the other side of it. Alright, so to do this, you need to go back to editable poly level. This is general level where it's gray color, and we're going to go to our modifier list and scroll until you see a modifier called symmetry. So what symmetry does is it replicates it copy a mirror of what's on the opposite side. So if I go back down to editable poly and the vertex level, I can also turn on the show end result over here, and if I move the vertex, and the other side will follow together. Alright, so yeah, that's how it works, and it will basically imitate that. Okay, so to add more segments over here, I need at least like 1, 2, 3, at least 3 segments. So what I need to do is I will go to the edge sub-object mode, and let me just turn off the show end result. Right? And I will select a whole vertical edges, alright, which is going up and down, and I'm going to use a tool called Connect. But this time I'm going to click on the settings on Connect, so that I have this widget over here. Alright, this widget will help me to add more segments in between. So I want 3 segments, so this one you don't need to change. Press OK to end the process, switching back to vertex object mode, and so that I can further tweak the object like that. But remember, if you look at the side view, it is still not finished. So what I'm doing right now is basically I am just working on the front view first. Okay, you can switch to front and side view as you go along, but or you can go do it one by one, but it is up to your own working style. Alright, so I'm gonna do very quickly with this one. Alright, push it inside. Okay. Alright, and now I'm gonna fix on the left side so that it matches the thickness of the spoon and the curvature of the spoon. Okay, a very quick one. Alright, I'm only doing this video tutorial in one take, so there's no editing will be done. So I hope I get it all right in the first run. Okay. So basically you are just tracing the shape. Just follow along the image. It doesn't have to be that accurate. Okay, now once we're done up until to the next level, the next video we will cover about how to finish up the top part and further refining our shape. But before I end this video, I just want to show you the outcome of it. Alternate X. Right, so I'm going to let you have a look. So this is how it looks like. Alright, in the perspective view. Now automatically the curvature of the handles of the spoon is taking into shapes, right, without even touching our perspective view. Right, so we will be back and see you in part 3.